Well, everybody, welcome back to the Junk Drawer. You're smiling at me. Funny. We need to not look at each other.
The last time you were saying that it was a concern that you were turning to look at me, and now you don't have to turn to look at me, and you're still yelling at me about looking at me. I think you just don't want to look at me.
I don't want you to look at me. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Junk Drawer. This is Mary.
And this is Jeff.
And if you're just tuning into us for the first time, the Junk Drawer is a podcast that we do together. We randomly pick items out of our magical junk drawer, and whatever that item is that we pull out, we talk about on that episode.
Well said.
Thank you.
So let's dive right on in. What do we have in the junk drawer today?
All right. Well, let's see. The junk drawer out. Let's see. No, I don't need that. All right. I pull out of the junk drawer a remote control, and it doesn't even have batteries in it.
Oh, shoot. So that couldn't have turned off the Emmys last night.
No, it could not have.
I hate watching those stupid award shows. They're terrible. So instead, I was watching the Browns game and getting disappointed over and over and over again.
And I like watching the Emmys and was also disappointed.
Do you like watching the Emmys more, or do you like watching the red carpet more?
I actually didn't even get a chance to watch the red carpet. I taped it. I was going to watch it today. I do like watching the red carpet because I like watching people arrive and seeing what they're wearing. Not that I know fashion very well, but sometimes it's kind of crazy. And just hearing about, them as people. And you're like, oh my God, there's the person I love to watch on TV, but this is just them being them. And sometimes they do little tidbits. They'll say something about their personal life. And you're like, oh, look, they're just like us.
Oh, yeah, these crazy rich people. They're just
totally
like us.
Not. I do. I like the red carpet. Although I will say, thank God for DVR, because you need to fast forward through not only commercials, but sometimes awkward acceptance speeches and awkward intros and
No, yeah, they're ridiculous.
It's unpleasant to watch some of them. I do like watching some of the acceptance speeches. I really kind of just want to know who won and the highlights. So I fast forward through a good deal of it. There was an awkward moment, I think, when the Game of Thrones cast came up to. I think they were presenters. They were presenting. God, I don't even remember what they were presenting. But the group of them came up and they each had lines to give, and they just I think Maisie Williams kind of flubbed up her line a little bit, and then there was these awkward pauses.
Shocker! Someone flubbed up their line.
Yeah, there was a bunch of flubs. I think it was the teleprompter, which that's understandable. But there were these awkward pauses, and I don't know. I feel like they were people thought they'd get a bigger reception, when. Oh, what was the other show that came up there? Oh, when Veep came up, because Veep's ending. They got a standing ovation, and it was this big thing.
So that was the big purpose, was just to have...
No, they presented. The whole cast presented. But, it was just awkward with Game of Thrones. And people clapped, but there was no, standing ovation, except when Khaleesi, I can't think of what her name is.
Lena Headey?
No.
Oh, Khaleesi is...
Amelia Clark.
Yeah.
When she started talking, people just erupted into applause. And then when the girl who played Gwendolyn, whatever her name is, who plays Brienne, they erupted even more into applause. None of the women from Game of Thrones won. I kind of feel like they was meant to be, they weren't going to give it to one of them, because there was 4 of them nominated in the same category. So it went to the young actor from Ozark.
Okay.
The daughter. I think she might have been a daughter. She was young.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just, there was disappointment. I don't know. Bill Hader was funny. I like Bill Hader, and he won for Barry, which we have to finish.
My main concern is that you keep watching these award shows that constantly award the same thing over and over again. Veep won.
I know.
So many times.
But I told you that she didn't win this time. And they didn't even win Best Comedy. That, Fleabag did, which I think we should watch. Fleabag won a bunch. They kind of shut it down. I feel like we should watch Fleabag.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We gotta keep up with Cobra Kai.
That's right. They should have been nominated for some stuff. I mean, I think they were nominated for the stunt coordination, but they should have been nominated for more, I think. And I don't even think they won the stunt coordination. Which, if they're not winning, who is? Like, what other show out there has all that fighting?
Yeah. I mean, especially with children.
Well, I guess Game of Thrones, maybe. They might have won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Big battle scenes.
Damn it.
No, but I mean, I don't know.
Cobra Kai is an awesome show.
And let's preface this because I don't think I can hold back. If you're not caught up with Cobra Kai, turn off now because...
Oh, yes. Spoilers.
Like, I'm going to spoil the crap out of this thing. It's such a good show. Like, from top to bottom, all of the elements are there. It's a good writing. It's a good storyline. It keeps you hooked. Like, it's a good TV show. It's just a good TV show. The acting is pretty good, especially considering the youth that are on it. The youth usually bring down the acting quality in many situations, but these guys seem to be doing a really good job.
If you don't know what Cobra Kai is, it is like a sequel, reboot, manifestation of The Karate Kid. So if you're a fan of the Karate Kid movies, you should definitely check out Cobra Kai. It's streaming on YouTube.
And usually it's on the premium thing, but they released the first season like straight up, and it seemed like it was ad-free because we binged it. And I don't remember watching a commercial when we watched the first season, but the second season they're releasing weekly now. So
yeah.
With ads. But that's fine. I'll watch a couple of commercials.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
It's really well done. It's really kind of more based off of the first movie more than anything. So far, I guess they could bring in more elements to the second and third movie, which I think they kind of did in that last episode when they kind of did a reference back to when Daniel breaks the ice in the second movie.
Yeah.
When he's in Okinawa.
Yeah.
And so that was, I think, the only time they really referenced the second movie. But yeah, it's Daniel LaRusso. He's a successful car dealership owner now. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He's got a nice house. Where do they live in California? Encino? Reseda? I don't know California.
They keep mentioning a couple of different places, but I mean, it's the All Valley karate tournament, so they're in some kind of a valley. But they're by Hollywood. They've said Hollywood. They're by Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's palm trees.
Yeah, it's California-y.
But there's also like a really cool scene where they're like by a lake or something, and there's like a forest, and it was really pretty.
Well, I'm sure there's like some forest in California.
But Southern California, I wouldn't expect. It was during autumn, so it was like there was leaves on the ground. So I wouldn't have expected to see that kind of.
I don't know. Do you remember when we used to watch Psych? And Psych was filmed in
Santa Barbara,
and it kind of looked like there was a lot of leaves changing and stuff. Weren't there when they? I swear.
Was there?
I swear there was like a lot of leaves, like weird trees, and me thinking like, is this California? I don't think they filmed this in California, but I thought we looked it up and they did. So maybe California is just multifaceted with its scenery. That's why people film movies there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I've only been there once, and it was Northern California, and it was forever ago. So I am not one to talk. But
yeah, I went to San Francisco for 24 hours once.
Yeah, I was in San Jose. And we popped into San Francisco, and it was for a short time.
Yeah, went there for a wedding, and I don't even remember what time of it must have been in the fall. Because I think it was my freshman year of college. But yeah, flew in, went to the wedding that night, next morning woke up and flew out.
That stinks.
Yeah, I didn't get to enjoy much of anything.
It's like a business trip, like work.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what isn't work. Watching Cobra Kai.
They should pay us to promote their show.
It's so good. I just can't get over it, man.
Oh.
So, well, yeah, you were kind of going through it.
So Daniel LaRusso is like a big-time auto dealership owner and obviously successful and doing well. And then you have Johnny Lawrence from the first movie.
The villain.
Who, you just assume is a terrible guy, and you just really feel bad for him now because he's down on his luck, and he's living in a crappy apartment, and it looks like he's out of work.
Yeah, he's not that. Wasn't he cleaning pools or something?
Yeah, it was just.
We watched that first episode a while ago.
You feel bad for him.
But yeah, no, and I tell you what, I don't think this thing would have existed if it wasn't for that YouTube clip that somebody put together. There's somebody that put something up that said that Daniel LaRusso was the villain in The Karate Kid.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And they went through and just kind of broke it down, and it's like, oh, this kid comes from out of town. Johnny's having a fight with his then ex-girlfriend, but, you know, who knows? It's high school. They can get back together. He's just having a little disagreement, and Daniel's got to come up and stick his nose in his business. And Daniel's the one that throws the first punch, man. He throws the first punch.
And they go over this in Cobra Kai.
They do.
They show you both sides of the story.
And that's why I think that they're giving, in a roundabout way, they're going to go back and they're going to say, hey, this YouTube clip that had this theory is the whole reason why this program exists right now.
I think it is. And thank God it happened, because there is not one thing I would change about this series. I think everything is spot on. I mean, you feel bad for Daniel. You feel bad for Johnny. You hate Johnny. You hate Daniel. And then they have kids, and their kids get involved, and there's just all different rivalries going on.
Well, it's because, so, like, you can make correlations to things.
And it's funny.
It is funny.
Very funny.
It is funny. My sister's got a problem with how little Johnny knows about the current time.
That's what I was going to say. The only thing that I think is really pushing it is that he apparently has been frozen in time. He doesn't know what the internet is or anything like that. But
send it to the internet.
Send it to the internet.
But it's correlating it to other programs. Like you have protagonists and you have antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
And generally speaking, the protagonist is always the protagonist and the antagonist is always the antagonist. Take Game of Thrones. So in Game of Thrones, there is some turning. Like,
I mean, sometimes you can feel bad, you know, like
Theon and stuff. So like Theon,
well, he had a big character change.
Well, yeah. So Theon was like a bad guy for a bit there, and then he gets picked up by Ramsay.
You feel really bad for him.
And then and then you like
Game of Thrones spoilers too.
So bad guy, and then he's like the guy that you feel bad about because Ramsay is such a jerk to him. And then he goes back into a bad guy for a minute, and then he's a good guy again.
It's not even that he's a bad guy at that point, though, because he's like so broken.
But it's always from his perspective. He is always changing from bad guy to good guy.
But you know what the theme is, though? I think he looks out for number one. You know, like throughout, I think his theme is like even when he's broken and weak and whatever, he's looking out for himself.
No,
except
because
towards the end with Sansa, and so, I mean that's how, and I think he has.
Yeah, and it's like at the beginning it was about the Iron Isles, like he was trying to.
Yeah, but that was like to boost his own ego.
But Ramsay is always bad from his perspective. He knows he's bad. He's doing bad things. He doesn't think he's being a good guy. But in Cobra Kai, everything that everybody does from their perspective, when you are watching it from their perspective, it is 100% the good guy thing to do. It is just. From someone else's perspective, it is a bad guy thing to do.
I know. I feel bad for oh my God, what's his name?
Miguel.
I was going to say Maurice. That's not right. I feel bad for Miguel. I mean, I feel bad. In the beginning, I thought Robbie was a douche. Now I'm like, I feel bad for Robbie, and even the girl. If you're not following the show, you're probably lost now, and we've spoiled a bunch of stuff for you. But even the teenage girl, like I feel.
Her name is Sam.
I feel bad.
It's like we haven't binged this.
I'm not good with names. I feel torn for her. Like, who do you want to hang out with? And like the guy with the hawk guy, with the hair lip thing, he was like, I felt really bad for him in the beginning, and now he is an asshole.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would amend. I don't think that from his perspective, the stuff that he's been doing recently. From his perspective, is he the good guy?
No, I think he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that he has like a moment where something happens and he kind of comes back down to earth a little bit. Which he always reminds us of the one guy in the Karate Kid 1. No, so...
I don't know what that guy's name.
Oh, I was going to ask you, do you know what all of the Cobra Kai teams, the bullies' names were? There's Johnny.
In the Karate Kid?
In the Karate Kid. From...
I I don't know. I just called him Trollface because he's just in the background. Yeah, Johnny.
Well, guess. Just throw out some names because I happen to know.
Tom.
You're close.
Tommy.
So Johnny, Tommy. So generic.
Jimmy.
There's a Jimmy. Shut up. You do know this.
Well, no. I'm following a trend here. Tony.
No.
Nelson.
No.
Maurice.
No, but that would have been good.
I don't know anybody else.
Bobby.
Okay, Bobby.
And then the last one you never would have gotten.
Carl.
No. Dutch. I don't know who Dutch was, but I wanted to remember who was that guy that was like, yeah, sweep the leg, Johnny, yeah. And it was Tommy. Tommy was the friend who was screaming at Johnny during the All Valley tournament.
Ah, okay.
So
I'll have to commit that to memory.
Yeah. Do you know what year the first one came out?
Oh.
And the second one and the third one?
Well, they all came out in the 80s, right? So I'm just picking...
All of them except the next Karate Kid.
Oh, good God.
With Hilary Swank.
Do we even need to talk about that one?
Sure.
Well...
Part of the franchise.
Yeah. So I'll say the first one came out in 85?
No.
High or low?
High.
83.
Low.
84.
Yeah.
Hey, that's when I was born.
Oh, happy birthday!
So, okay, so 84.
Kid.
So then there had to be some time to take off.
That means that movie's 35 years old.
So the second one...
I didn't think about that.
Is this like Back to the Future where the second one and the third one were filmed at the same time?
I'm not telling you.
Ah.
True 80s fans know the answer to these questions.
I can't remember all this stuff. I just enjoy the genre.
So
I'll say 87.
High.
86.
Yes.
And 89.
Yes. 84, 86, and 89. And for a bonus, the next Karate Kid was made in...
96.
No. High.
94.
Yes. A lot of good things were made in 1994. I feel.
That was not one of them.
You didn't like it?
No. Why would you like it?
That's when she went to the monastery with all the cute little monks.
Wait, and she was dating a 37-year-old? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, that was weird.
He was way too old to be pretending to be a kid her age.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, that was definitely the weaker. What's your favorite one? Obviously not the next Karate Kid. I didn't even see the reboot with Will Smith's kid. I mean, not to say it probably wasn't good, but I was like, why? I'm fine with the original.
Well, the thing that confused me was it was called The Karate Kid, but he was doing kung fu.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Oh. Like, that was the big thing. It was like, we're going to teach you kung fu.
Who was the Mr. Miyagi guy?
I don't know. I never saw it.
I never saw it either.
Well, but I'm going to say I haven't seen the third one in way too long. So I'm going to say I'm just going to take that one off the table because I don't have it enough in my recollection. I remember the bad guy. I remember Daniel busting his knuckles open on the... Yeah,
and the love interest in that was the redheaded chick from The Worst Witch.
She was cute. I did have a crush on her.
And I think she was in Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I would say... I mean, the first is always the best. I appreciated the second one. I thought it was cool. You got to see a little bit more of Miyagi being cool Miyagi.
I really liked the second one. I liked it.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's called The Karate Kid. So I kind of feel like we should be following around.
Jackie Chan.
Oh, that makes sense.
Was the master of, I guess, Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jaden Smith was the student. Yeah, I like the first one too. Daniel moves from, I thought New York, but it wasn't New York. Do you know where he moved from?
It was Jersey, wasn't it?
It was Newark.
Newark, New Jersey.
He's from Newark, and then he moved to California. I like that one. But, I don't know. I really do feel that video made sense. About him being actually not the really good guy.
And it's kind of weird because isn't the third one Doesn't he break up with Allie in the third one?
I have no idea.
Isn't that how that's... Oh, no, he breaks up
right.
at the beginning of the second one. He breaks up at the beginning of the second one.
And then he cheated on Allie in
That's
Okinawa.
what I was going to say. I got a little confused by the timeline.
I thought she broke up with him.
But spoiler alert, I mean, they're like, you get into Cobra Kai, and the two are sitting at the bar, and they're both talking about her, and it's like, oh, the one that got away. And it's like, dude, you had 2 girlfriends after her that you were pretty into.
Yeah. We don't know what happened with Johnny. I mean, we know where it kind of ended up. We don't know what happened to him right after.
Yeah. But it's just weird how, like, he lost his chick, he lost the tournament, he lost his
sensei tried to kill him.
His sensei tried to kill him, and in doing so, it's like he lost his family, which was his dojo.
Because you get some backstory on Johnny and how he grew up.
And it's one of those things where it's like you don't know. Everyone comes from a certain set of circumstances.
Yeah, you don't know where people are coming from.
So it's an interesting thing to see where it's like, oh, you originally watched The Karate Kid and Johnny's this horrible douchebag, but you don't understand that he comes from a broken home. His mother remarried to a wealthy dude who basically is not a father figure.
Yeah, he was an ass.
He's a checkbook. So,
and he was the skinny, nerdy kid.
Yeah.
When he joined Cobra Kai.
That's right. So it's like he found in the dojo, he found a father figure. In Kreese, which unfortunately allowed him to skew his perception of the world, which he eventually does to a couple other people. But it's at least he's realizing it.
I know, but
and he's trying to correct. He's trying to correct his course through Miguel.
But Kreese is a real problem.
They keep setting something up, man, and I don't know what exactly is going to happen with this guy, but when it happens, it's going to be bad.
I'm telling you, I really want Daniel and Johnny to have to band together against a common evil, and maybe that common evil is Kreese. Like maybe Kreese goes off and starts his own dojo, or does something, dastardly, and Johnny, and maybe for the good of the kids or something. I don't know. Something pushes them together because I would really like to see them together. Wouldn't you? You don't want to see them work together?
No, when
that might be the last season, but I would like to see it happen.
When they were in the bar, I was feeling really good and organic, and you had predicted that they were going to...
I thought they'd be buddy-buddy.
And then that episode came up, only to be immediately dashed in the final seconds of the episode. But I think that would be interesting. Daniel likes the 80s. He has made adjustments, and he's entered into the modern world a little bit better than Johnny has, but there are things that they can have in common with each other and still not be, like, they don't have to be best friends, but they can still be more allies. I don't know. But this last week, what was it, episode 3 that came out?
Yeah.
It was a short episode, but it was a good episode. I think it helped progress the story a little bit as far as setting up tension.
I agree. I believe the next episode they're going to introduce that other girl who comes into the dojo to learn karate, or she kind of already knows karate.
We kept seeing all those trailers when we were like, oh, is season 2 streaming? And they just kept playing trailer after trailer, and I was thinking they were just commercials for the show, but it's just because they haven't released the show yet.
It's the girl from the show Bunked.
Which our daughter is obsessed with. And
we kind of tamed that.
Can't let her watch it anymore because she's a nutso when she watches it.
But it's the young person who's from Bunked and Jessie. So we recognized her from the tweenie shows. But, they're touching on a bit of the next Karate Kid with the fact that they got the females in there. Thank goodness. They have the one chick, I forget her name, but she's a football player's daughter in the show, not in real life. What's her name?
Daniel's daughter?
No, the other chick who's first joined Cobra Kai.
Oh, right.
She's like the good friend.
Oh, shoot. What is her name? That's going to bother me.
I'm going to look it up.
So Sam's friend. I don't know why. Penny's popping in my head, but that's not right.
I have to say, though, if I had to, root for one of them, even though I feel for both of them, I'd rather have Johnny, come out on top, because I kind of feel like Daniel's a little bit of a tool. And I even felt that a little bit in the series, the movie. Doesn't it come up a little bit goody tooly.
Yeah, well, I mean, most protagonists, in an effort to make you be on their side, they kind of take away a lot of the...
He feels like a car salesman, put it that way. You know?
Right, yeah. And I think that was a good profession to give him.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gives an explanation as to why he's as wealthy as he is without having to work as often as he doesn't. Because he apparently is constantly in the dojo. Yeah, one of the other things that bothers me a little bit about the show is the passage of time isn't very well described. Because the series picks up at like the beginning of the school year-ish. It's at least in the fall because Miguel dresses as
it's
the skeleton for Halloween.
It's Halloween.
But then the All Valley Tournament...
But that was season 1.
But I'm saying the All Valley Tournament, when did that happen? Because in order to be an All Valley, you have to be a black belt. So none of those kids...
Yeah, that's very suspicious. And then, it's the season, the episodes we're in now, it's summer. They're like at some summer fest and stuff. So it's a little confusing. I agree. Her name's Aisha.
Okay.
Didn't I say one of these guys was the, didn't I look it up? Is it Robbie? Is he the one who's got the famous parents? Didn't I say he had the famous parents?
I know, we said he looked like Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World.
Totally. And that's what's messing with me too, is he's got a 90s look vibe going on about him.
Yeah.
Like flashback with the haircut and
the skateboarding
and the way he dresses. Like, it's like they just plucked him out of the 90s and plucked him in this movie. Nostalgia. Let's see. I got to look him up because I swear I said he had the famous parents. But I don't want to be wrong. Hold on. Let me find his, information.
Well, you might still be wrong. You can want it all you want.
If I'm wrong, then I want to know who I was thinking of. That's what I'm saying. His name is...
You were thinking of the guy from The Boys.
The Boys? What's The Boys?
We watched the one episode of it. It's when what if superheroes weren't benevolent?
That is what I'm thinking of.
And it was...
It was Meg Ryan and... Dan, Dave, Daniel, Ted, Dennis, Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Yeah, it was Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid's son. Which I was not...
Because you were like, you're never going to guess this.
Right.
You gave me an outrageous
I know who
bet.
Meg Ryan was with. I knew it was Dennis Quaid. I just couldn't think of his name. I was thinking of Randy Quaid.
You're like, you're never going to guess this. And I was like, well, first off, I don't know people anyways. And I'm terrible at pointing out lookalikes in real life. So I was never, ever going to get to Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. And I never knew they were together.
I did. I don't know if they're still together. I don't think they are.
Well, she looks like the Joker now, so I would hope that...
It's true. It's not nice to say, but too much plastic surgery for her.
If they would do a little switcheroo and make the Joker a female, she should 100% get that job.
How many freaking Joker movies are we going to have to see?
No, I get it. You didn't even watch Suicide Squad.
God, it was crap.
Don't watch it.
And then now there's another one coming out with Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't know.
I heard it was good.
Some people say it's good. This universe is bad. We're getting way off track here.
We are.
This is a topic for another
Let's head back to the 80s. Back to Karate Kid and Cobra Kai.
But no, I think that
he does look like Sean Hunter, man.
It brings in enough of the stuff that's going on today. I did like how they brought up Daniel's cultural appropriation. I think that was... I thought that was good.
That one was funny too. It's a funny show. Like the things that they touch on are amusing.
Like Johnny's just non-knowledge of the way that the world works right now is funny, but I think that some of the other stuff that hits really well,
like what,
is the way that he talks to the kids. Like he talks to the kids like they're his buddies.
Yeah.
Like, they're grown-ups.
But then, like, sometimes it makes you feel awkward. Like, when he was trying to get people to sign up for the dojo, and he walks up to these two guys, and he's like, hey, guys, kicks get chicks.
Yeah.
And they're like, thanks, loser. You just feel so bad for him. Like, oh, that doesn't work anymore. I guess it worked in the past. But it's just so awkward.
Like,
I wonder if any of his friends are going to come back. I mean, I stay in touch with people I went to high school with. Like, he doesn't stay in touch with Tommy or Bobby or Dutch or Jimmy or Johnny or he is Johnny or any of those other people. Like, I wonder if they're going to make a cameo.
1, are any of them acting anymore? 2, in the grand scheme of the way the show operated, did they stay with the dojo and Johnny left?
I have no idea.
Did the dojo shut down after Kreese left?
I think it might have. That was the vibe I got.
But then there was Ponytail Guy in 3.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Oh, I don't know.
Who did Daniel fight in 3?
I think he fought the Ponytail Guy. Oh, no. He fought... Oh, crap. You know what's weird? I'm getting Karate Kid and Rocky mixed up in my head.
He fought Mr. T.
Oh my God.
Victor
That would
Drago.
be awesome.
What was Drago's name? I think Victor's the son's name in the Creed series.
I don't know. But that would be fantastic. I would love to see Ralph Macchio and Mr. T fight. No, do you remember in Rocky 5?
I saw Rocky 5 all of one time.
Okay, it was Rocky 5 then. It's the one where he's like back home, all washed up because he got brain damage.
He says if he gets hit in the head one more time, he's gonna
die. And his son is like a teenager. He's got an ear. They move out of their big mansion because they're poor now, and they move back.
Speaking of passage of time, Rocky is the best example of terrible passage of time.
My son was just born, and now he's 17. Well, no, there was a brief moment. He was just born. He's 5. He's 25.
Yeah.
But no, they moved to, I don't know where the hell they moved to, Brooklyn or somewhere in New York, Queens, I don't know. Back to the hood. Oh no, New York, Philadelphia. I'm all confused. They moved back to the mean streets of Philly or wherever. And the son doesn't really like it there, but then he makes some hoodlum friends, and he eventually gets an earring and is all tough or whatever. And Rocky, like, takes this guy who's working out at the gym he used to work out at, like, under his wing, and now he wants to be like Mickey, and he wants to coach this kid. And the son kind of gets jealous and is like, then he starts getting into trouble, skipping school, getting in fights and stuff. And, Adrian's obviously like, pay attention to your son. This guy's great, but, your son, he misses you and everything. And anyways, the guy who's training ends up being a douchebag, turning on him, going with the money bags who's going to train him and give him all kinds of publicity and cash. And so now he's this big fighter winning. Rocky feels left in the dust. The kid feels left in the dust. And eventually the guy calls out Rocky and says, I want to fight you now. And Rocky's like, I'm not doing that. And then they end up having a street fight. It's a Rocky street fight. And he
bare knuckled
street fights the dude and wins.
Blocks with his face.
Yes. And then him and his son kind of rekindle their, right before that, him and his son kind of rekindle their father-son relationship, and it all ends well.
Well, father-son rekindling,
but I keep
going to happen?
I keep thinking father-son rekindling.
Johnny and Robbie.
Oh, I kind of hope that does. I hope that mends itself. I keep thinking that Daniel fought that blonde guy from Rocky 5, and that's not it. So I'm going to look it up.
So yeah, that father-son thing, like, I don't know how it's going to get rekindled, because Johnny takes Miguel to that diner or whatever, and basically is like, I'm picking you.
I know.
He's like, I'm always going to back you up. So if Miguel goes, I need to kick Robbie's butt because I want to get back with Sam, how is... Like, what a dumb thing for him to say. And I get why he's doing it. Like, he got a relationship with this kid and everything. Like, and the relationship is better than the one with this kid, with his own son. So
I get it, though. It's this guy.
You right-clicked.
Right on his face.
Right on his face. I can't see a thing.
This guy.
Oh.
You even brought it up. He's the guy that when they're climbing down to plant the bonsai tree,
Oh, right.
He like cuts their ropes.
That's right.
And stuff. It's that guy.
That's right. Yeah, because they were guys that Ponytail Dude trained already.
Yeah.
And he brought them in to defeat Daniel because that was his whole big thing. He wanted to break Daniel for Kreese. Man, I gotta watch that movie again. We only own the first one, right? We don't own the second one?
I think you're right. I think we only own the first one. Is this that guy? Yeah. Okay, so yeah. I would like to see them rekindle. I think that the only reason he did have that conversation with Miguel in the diner was I think he doesn't want to fail Miguel. Like he feels he failed Robbie. But I feel like there's still a chance. And I feel like Daniel...
To fail Miguel?
No. Oh, yeah. to rekindle with Robbie. We did not do a wonderful job of explaining who people are. Again, people
if
either watch the show...
You're watching the show.
Either watch it or don't. Because, anyways, Robbie is Johnny's son. But he talks about how he wasn't there for his birth. He left his mom in the lurch kind of thing because his mother had just died and he was like a wreck. And he was drunk. But the mother is a real piece of work, too. I mean, she's obviously got like a drug addiction. Yeah. Like a pill addiction and sleeps with all kinds of men and just leaves her kid and goes off on vacation. And so she's terrible. So Johnny's definitely the better bet.
I think Daniel's the best bet.
I don't know. I'm telling you.
He's rich.
I get it. Yeah. He's got the money.
Stay in this nice house.
And he obviously likes his daughter. But I don't know. I just get this kind of sleazy vibe from Daniel. It's probably that car salesman thing. Which is
good because like it feeds the show because there's that one part where he was trying to get new recruits and everything and he was like, all right, I got a fence that needs painting and they're like, oh, so you just wanted us to come here to do your chores?
Totally makes sense. Like, yeah, you're just gonna have people come over and like think that that you're Mr. Miyagi and like wise and ancient and
yeah, don't trust a car salesman.
I feel like he's just too cocky. Like, I feel like Mr. Miyagi would be like, if he came back from the grave, would be like, Daniel's son, stop.
I think you're right. You're right. I think him dying.
You're not getting the right balance you need.
With Miyagi out of the picture, there's
Daniel's
been no one to curb him.
Yeah. It's just a douche on the loose. He's not a douche. He's just...
No, sometimes he is.
He's almost like... I get like a... What is it? Wally, not Wally. Leave It to Beaver, like the friend. Leave It to Beaver. His brother. Oh my God.
I don't know.
You don't know Leave It to Beaver?
I've never watched
His brother had a friend. Beave's brother had a friend.
Beaver's brother?
Yeah, I think Beaver's brother was named Wally, and he had a friend named something, and he would always come over, and he was like a little suck up, a little like
Pete. George.
No.
Arnold.
No, stop. But he was always like, hi, Mr. Cleaver. He was just very like, but he was like douchey. Oh my, thank God I have my laptop in front of me because now I have like a Leave It to Beaver. Yeah.
Ward
is the dad.
Jane.
No, it's a guy.
Well, why are you putting labels on things? Come on, this is 2019.
Leave It to Beaver, 1957. You never watched reruns?
You're old.
Never watched reruns. I used to watch reruns of like Nick at Night when Nick at Night didn't play Friends and Seinfeld when it played Mary Tyler Moore and the I Love Lucy show and Gilligan's Island.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, and the Dick Van Dyke Show and Bob Newhart and
never watched.
Shut up! You need to go get some old.
I didn't watch Nick at Night. I was busy watching Comedy Central and getting.
I was
laughs.
So wholesome. I was getting laughs. Dick Van Dyke was funny. I love Mary Tyler Moore.
All right, say one joke from the Mary Tyler Moore show.
I want she would be like, "Oh, Mr. Grant." She would get all weepy. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow,
I have
that's really funny.
Horrific memory.
I bet you I could tell you a joke from one of the stand-up comedy specials on Comedy Central and make you laugh.
Just because you can't come up with your own jokes. Ooh!
Burn!
Ward Cleaver, Theodore Cleaver was the beeve. June Cleaver was the mom. Wally Cleaver was the brother. And Eddie Haskell was the crappy neighbor who was friends with Wally. So Daniel LaRusso is a little bit of an Eddie Haskell to me.
Okay.
Oh my God. We went way far down the television hole. All the way back to 1957.
Well, you never know where that remote control is going to take you.
Oh, do you remember that movie?
Remote control?
No.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Oh, yes, that's what I was talking about. I thought it was
not called Remote Control.
I thought it was called Remote Control, but that was a television show from the late 80s and early 90s, right?
I don't know.
On
yeah,
TV?
I think it was.
No, yeah. Stay tuned with John Ritter, right?
Yeah.
And they get blasted in the TV.
1992.
I feel like I saw that in the movie theater.
Oh, it's got that creepy guy in it who's like bad news now, like pedophile or something.
Jeffrey Jones?
Yeah. I think he played like the devil.
Did he?
Yeah. He's played
remember.
Spike is what it says. I think he was like the devilish character.
Who was the guy that gave him the remote?
Oh,
Because right now I can think of the guy from
he's the
Pleasantville.
old guy. What?
I can only think of the guy from Pleasantville.
Oh my God, that's who I was thinking of. You're right. That's not right. that was the guy from Three's
Gremlins.
Company. What?
Was he from Gremlins?
I have no idea. I don't think I've seen all of Gremlins. I've only seen Gremlins.
I like putting emphasis on the wrong syllables.
I love Gremlins.
I say it as it's written.
How do you say Gremlins?
I know how to. Everyone else does. I say Gremlins.
I know how to say Gremlins, but now I'm going to always want to say Gremlins. It's the guy who's from Three's Company, not Mr. Roper, Mr. Hurley.
Yeah, John Ritter is from...
Yes, John Ritter is from Three's Company, and the man from Pleasantville is also from Three's Company.
Let's reiterate. I didn't watch Nick at Night. I don't know who you're talking about.
You're missing out. I'm trying to find the old guy. Bob Dishy? Is that him?
That's quite the dish.
I don't know if this is him. Ooh. He was also in Don Juan DeMarco when Johnny Depp was hot and not weird looking. I think it was that guy.
Oh, could be.
That's not the man that either one of us were picturing.
Correct.
Wasn't he in some fishy cartoon movie too?
Dishy was in Fishy?
No, not Dishy. The guy from Pleasantville.
Was in some sort of fishy movie?
The guy from Pleasantville who was also in Three's Company, but not John Ritter, who was also in something else you were thinking of, was in some kind of fishy movie. I'm going to look it up.
Are you sure you're not thinking of the guy from...
Pee my pants here.
From the
Nope.
fishing show from the 50s? Since you seem to be stuck. The fabulous Mr. something.
Oh, I think I am thinking of him. I don't know. Three's Company.
But he's the guy that... He's got the big lips or whatever.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know.
That's a different guy.
No, it's not a different guy. Shut up. Wait. I'm going to find it. Okay. Don Knotts. Don Knotts is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, but that's not the guy.
From what?
From Pleasantville.
That is the guy from Pleasantville. I'm almost 100% sure.
Well, one of us is right.
He was on the Andy Griffith Show.
Thank you. That's the one.
He was on Three's Company.
The fishing show is what I was saying.
The show wasn't about fishing.
They're walking down the thing with fishing poles.
Okay. Right. He was in Pleasantville. It says right here.
Oh, okay.
Pleasantville.
All right. Well, look up Gremlins.
He was in Little Chicken. That 70s show. What am I looking at?
Gremlins. I don't know why I'm asking you to do it. I have a computer in my phone.
Gremlins. Oops. 1984. We're just really talking about 1984. Not the book, but the year.
Dun, dun, dun,
Who are you
dun,
thinking
dun,
of?
dun, 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 dun,
I don't know who you're
dun,
thinking of from this
dun,
movie.
dun, 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 dun. His name is Dick Miller.
Dick Miller.
Oh,
Oh, I see him.
he was in The Burbs. What a good movie that was.
Yeah. You made me like that movie. I wasn't super crazy about it.
No, it's so funny.
I do like it. He was also in the
Pizza Dude.
Terminator. Okay. So, let me ask you this question. To kind of round out this episode. We like Cobra Kai. It's kind of a reboot, reimagining, sequel-ish type show about the Karate Kid. Can you think of any other like 80s movie or 80s franchise like Gremlins that you would like to see brought back and like Where Are They Now show. Like, I can't really do that with Back to the Future because they kept going back and forth to the future. And so the future would be now and the past would make it weird. So it's not going to work. But was there another, like, you like Teen Wolf? You want to see Teen Wolf in this
Well, they
era?
tried doing that. They did it on MTV or something, VH1, one of those music channels that doesn't actually play music. I never watched it because I'm not a teenager.
I got it, The Breakfast Club now. Where are they now? That would be probably really sad.
It probably, because
Really
Judd Nelson would be
depressing.
dead.
Why would he be dead? Maybe he'd be the business
one. He would have overdosed.
Maybe not. That's not true. He got together with what's her name. Maybe she cleaned him up, and now they live in the burbs.
He's supposed to be a punk rocker.
There's lots of people who are like lawyers now that used to be punk rockers. In fact, do you remember that movie, SLC Punk? I just said lawyer because the guy turned out to be a lawyer in the end. That was a really sad movie with Heroin Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie since Hanging Out with Dave's.
Yeah, that was a really sad movie. Spoiler.
Full of spoilers today.
We're just calling this episode Spoiler. And if you haven't
That's the
seen
name of the
these
thing,
things,
we'll call it Spoiler Alert. We'll call the episode Spoiler Alert.
Spoiler Alert. What do we want to talk about? Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding? What else? I don't watch anything current.
The Purple Wedding.
The Purple Wedding? That actually bothered me more than The Red Wedding.
Well, yeah, because I mean...
Honestly, I kind of knew The Red Wedding was coming because we were behind, and I heard people talking about it, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew something's going to happen.
Well, I had read the book by the time we got to The Purple Wedding, so I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, that Purple Wedding messed me up. And I mean, Joffrey's a good example of somebody you really just hated. He was just bad.
To the point where he got out of the business.
Yeah, but he seems like a really nice dude.
He does.
It sucks that but I don't think he wants to be in the business.
It stinks he's so good that he can't.
I don't think he wanted. I read something about him, the guy who plays Joffrey, where I think he has his own little like theater company now or something. Like, I don't think he wanted the big Hollywood life.
No.
I think, from what I remember of the article. Because I think he still does acting and stuff. It's just he opened his own theater company, I think, with his friends.
Okay.
Which, good for him. Theater is awesome.
Well,
I
don't think it pays quite as much as...
Maybe he doesn't need the money. He was Joffrey.
Yeah, but that... I don't know. Those checks will dry up at some point.
Maybe he invested really well.
Could be.
But he was a good... But even with his demise, I was like... That made me uncomfortable. There's something about being poisoned that really bothers me. Oh, chop his head off, poke his eyes out, crush his skull. I'm like, whatever. Oh, they were poisoned. They suffer. Like, I don't know.
It's because of the slow death.
Yeah, I don't like the slow death. But you know what? Braveheart doesn't bother me that bad. But you don't really see
Yeah,
it.
they don't really... It's just him screaming.
The part that bothers me in Braveheart is the way I feel about Braveheart when the chick gets her throat cut is the way I feel about... This is called spoilers. Is the way I feel about Fried Green Tomatoes when Buddy is on the train tracks. Like, I gotta skip. Shut up. Wait, open your eyes. It's a great movie.
Can we go a day without hearing about
Fried Green Tomatoes? I don't never talk about Fried Green Tomatoes. I heard the book's really good, though. My mom read the book. It's by Fanny Flagg. Fanny Flagg. And I think that's her name. I'm going to Google that now, too. She wrote a couple books.
Is the book much better than the movie?
I don't know. I didn't read it. But no, when Buddy dies, holy crap. I got to like fast forward. I can't handle it. Because you know what? It's not a slow death, but it's the slow oncoming of the death. He can't get his foot out. Like, oh my God, just pull your foot out. Pull your foot out of the tracks. Like, it just kills me every time. I'm like, oh my God. And then it's just, Buddy. And it's Chris O'Donnell, too. Again, when he was cute. He's kind of still cute. But
what is he doing?
Nothing, I don't know.
How can you make that statement if you haven't seen him?
I feel like he's not cute anymore.
Because how old is he now?
Older.
Because let's say he was in his late 20s, early 30s when he did Batman
I do like some older men, though.
You do. Yeah, you got a hall pass for Jeff Bridges.
I love Jeff Bridges in a weird way. Yeah, he looks like somebody's dad.
Yeah. It's what happens.
Dad.
You get older.
And this is when he was not somebody's dad.
Okay.
He's actually not my like go-to guy. I was never like, oh, I love Chris O'Donnell, but he was cute ish. I like Jason Statham, who's older, but not old. I don't know why I like him so much. And I like Jeff Bridges in a weird, like, cute grandpa way, but also he's kind of sexy. Like, if I was older, if I was, like, in my 70s or 80s or whatever, I'd be like, ooh, you're really great.
Ooh, you're really great.
You're keen. You're the berries.
You are so old today.
Just today.
I watch all of the Nick and Night shows. And I'm in love with a 7-year-old.
Back in my day, I don't know. We didn't do anything. We just stared at each other.
We sat around the old Victrola and listened to the stories come out from the radio.
My grandma used to call her soap operas her stories. She'd go, I'm going to watch my stories now. And I would watch them with her, and we'd watch One Life to Live. And when the bad parts came up, the sex parts, which were probably every episode, she had made me cover my eyes as I sat there eating my meatloaf sandwich and my dill pickle. She made the best cold meatloaf sandwiches with the little dill pickle.
So
watching One Life to Live with my grandma.
There were sex scenes in a daytime soap opera?
There was, like, alluding to sex scenes, and obviously somebody would get shot. And I think on One Life to Live there was a lot of, like, multiple personalities going on with the character named Vicky Time.
Ugh.
I say, ugh, you never got to watch it. You might really like it.
That's stupid.
You're stupid.
The only good soap opera was Soap.
Soap was good. That's the show. That wasn't a soap opera.
What do you think? It was mocking soap operas.
That was funny, though.
It was called Soap because it was a soap opera that just took everything to the nth degree. With Bert turning invisible. Like, that was such a good show. And it ended so
we should
badly.
rewatch that.
It just gets cut, and then you never get resolution. For those of you that don't know, go watch it. They end every episode of Soap with, what's going to happen on the next episode of Soap? And it's like everything always ended on a cliffhanger. And they ended the episode on they ended the season on a giant cliffhanger with Bert that I needed to know the resolution to, but season 6 never came.
Aw, don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, did you ever answer my question?
I don't know. What was
you don't want to see anything be rebooted? Like
from the
how
80s?
How Karate Kid and Cobra Kai were rebooted? Fanny Flagg. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
That's who wrote it.
All right. Squirrel. So, I don't know. I'm kind of one of those guys that doesn't like to remake stuff. I'm actually incredibly shocked at how much I like Cobra Kai, given that I don't like reboots all that much. But this one is so organic.
It's really good.
It's just too good. It's so good. Because how many of those 80s movies ended the... Because the benefit is that they're taking the antagonist that you know little to nothing about, and the story is about that guy. Essentially.
Right.
So you're able to really expand upon it. So what they would have to do is if they wanted to do like a reboot Back to the Future, you need to follow Biff's story.
That might not be bad.
But unfortunately, Biff, you get a lot of Biff.
Yeah,
because
Biff got old. And see, you can't do Back to the Future.
Because it already
went
jumped into the future.
Yeah, that's no good.
Because there was no antagonist that was Marty's age.
Yeah, that's no good. I think that
what other 80s movies were there?
Well, you said Gremlins, so what, do we follow the Gremlins? You only like Gremlins because your girlfriend's in the movie.
Yeah, Phoebe. She's great.
Not Buffet.
She's a cutie.
She's married to Kevin Kline.
I don't care.
Kevin Kline is a great actor.
I don't care.
He was in French Kiss with Meg Ryan, who has a son that's in that show that we watched. Kind of rounding it out.
Full circle.
I love French Kiss. Me and my friends, we talk about French Kiss sometimes.
My friends and I.
Shut up. My friends and I. My friends and I, we sit around and we talk about the movie French Kiss. That's my proper.
Maggie brought up French Kiss the other day.
Because she said it's a good movie?
She was talking about it.
It's a good movie.
She was talking about it because of the wine tasting or whatever she was doing. And then
I heard they were hammered on the set of that movie. Like, all they did is drink.
Oh, it was real wine? It wasn't like grape juice?
I think so. They were in France. So.
Yeah, but she brought it up and I said...
Kevin Kline does a great accent.
I like that movie. And I was like,
You didn't bring home a picture frame.
No, she didn't bring it. We're doing an exchange. I have to bring her Tupperware.
It's a ransom. I'll give you the Tupperware if you give me the picture frame. How bad do you want this Tupperware back? We still got food in it. We got to finish it.
Well, transport it into one of our Tupperwares.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could do that. Yeah, Kevin Kline does a really great French accent.
Says someone who doesn't speak French.
I would think that he was French if I didn't know who he was. Just like with Gilbert Grape, I would have thought that Leonardo DiCaprio had a disability. Did I not know?
Well, what do you think about my French accent?
It goes great with your face.
Wow, you really like it.
I wish this was on video. If you could see your face when you did that. Do it again.
I was trying. I don't know that I can do it again because I have a smile on my face.
Do it again. That's how you can't do your frowny turtle face.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everyone can frown.
Say something like from The Little Mermaid. Sacre bleu.
Les poissons, les poissons.
What is this?
I don't know. What do French people say?
Oui, oui.
Well, that's
bonjour.
Actually French. I'm trying to say.
They say, he says, my ass twitches. Your people make my ass twitch.
Your people make my ass twitch.
Or what else does he say? He goes, his name is Bob. Bob? Just Bob. Oh, Bob. Yes, Bob. Like a Bob Dylan. I think my French is pretty good. My French accent's really good. Bob Dylan. My name is Marie. I live in France, and I like to drink French wine. I eat croissants.
I saw a meme, and it was, if you ever forget a word, you can go, oh, I can't remember the English word for it. And people will think that you're bilingual.
Oh.
And they'll forgive you for not knowing.
They won't think I'm bilingual. I don't emit that energy that I know anything. It's amazing. I got up and functioned and got dressed. I'm not even really dressed. It's bad.
What are you talking? You have jeans on? You have a shirt on? What are you talking about? You're not dressed.
Oh, my hair is dirty and up in a ponytail. No makeup on.
You're never fully dressed without your makeup, I guess.
I don't wear it. Yeah, that's what my mom would say. My sister.
I don't know. I have more problems with remembering how to spell things than remembering the actual words.
Yeah, we know I can't spell either. Your clothes may be Beau Bromley. That's not right. Beau Bromley. What is the lyric?
It's not Beau Bromley, I can tell you that.
Your clothes may be... Sounds like Beau Bromley. Those lyrics that you're like, they're not saying that. My whole life I've been singing Beau Bromley.
And never thinking a thing about it. All right, well.
Wait, I gotta find... Oh, well, I can find it out on my own time, I guess. You can just wait till the next episode.
Leave people hanging. Quite the cliffhanger. Be a nice serial, like the old drive-ins that you, I'm sure, remember from the 60s when you were youth.
My youth? The 60s? Hey... No, that's not right. No, this is not right. It says, your clothes may be Chanel or Gucci. This is obviously like a parody.
No, it's the new one. I think they rewrote some of it.
I want the 1984.
That was hard when I was trying to find music.
Oh, I don't even know if it's 1984. Just 1980, whatever.
When I was trying to find music for our daughter's iPod, it was...
This is Bert Healy's thing.
I couldn't find stuff from the Carol Burnett version.
It says, your clothes may be Beau Brumley. They stand out a mile. I don't know what the hell Beau Brumley means.
All right, punch it in. Maybe it's a designer in the 20s.
I think it means scruffy.
Or 30s. When did that movie take place?
Well, I was born in 1927. Beau Brummel. He was an iconic figure in Regency, England. So I guess he was just a fancy guy. He was born July 7th, 1778, and died March 30th, 1840. Oh. I'm that old.
Well, just since
George Byron Beau Brummel is what it says. I guess that was maybe his nickname. I'm coming up as a complete idiot here.
Tidbit of trivia that just you're delving into the 17 and 1800s.
I love that time. Tell me, what is it?
I think I told you this already, but and Yankee Doodle.
Yes, you
stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni.
Indeed, he did.
Macaroni was what the Brits called popular, what is it? Like posh things. Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
What's the word that people use now?
Oh, are you talking about bougie?
Yeah. So that was the word that the Brits used because people, when they went to Italy, it was like whenever something was like awesome in Italy, they called it macaroni. So it's like, you stuck a feather in your hat and you called it awesome.
I'm a little bit confused on today's time because I feel like I've heard.
It's 2019.
I've heard
the time hasn't changed. It still moves to a 1 second.
Shut up. I'm confused with like how bougie is used because sometimes I feel like people say like, oh, that's bougie, and I'm like, it's a bad thing, or like that's bougie, that's a good thing. I don't know how to use bougie. I know it means bourgeois.
Well, I think it all depends on what your perspective is. If you love if you love the Kardashians, you probably say, ooh, bougie. If you hate the Kardashians, you probably go, ugh, bougie.
Yeah, I don't understand the young people today. I don't understand the young people today with their bougies. I said macaroni. You're the macaroni, Jeff. And you're the macaroni audience. Thanks for listening to us. Oh my God, we keep forgetting to say this. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the little thumbs up like button, please. And share us with your friends. Tell everyone, spread the word that they need to be listening to us.
The virtual junk drawer, which I don't even think we said the words when we started.
Virtual junk drawer. All right, I've had a great time with this remote controller tonight. It's really taken us down memory lane. It's magical because it doesn't have batteries. So I think we're just going to slide it back in the drawer until we need it again.
Until next time, to all of you out there, enjoy your junk drawers, and I hope you find whatever you're looking for.
In those drawers?